Hi everyone, welcome to another day in the life vlog. On this particular day I woke up pretty early and read my book in bed for a bit, and then I started on some work. So here I'm doing a pathology lecture. This one was on hyperthyroidism because it was endocrine week. So then I went to my window to get a few breaths of fresh air, and then I did a meditation. This was one on YouTube. It was by The Honest Guys and it's called The Morning Uplift, and it is so uplifting. One of the first things I tell you to do in the meditation is just to smile no matter how you feel, and so that's why I am smiling a lot in this clip. After that I had my breakfast, and then I only had about half an hour before I was having an online seminar, so I just did a bit of yoga. So then I had my online seminar with the Clinical Skills Teaching Fellows. This is basically something we sit and listen to, and then we can input our ideas and ask questions when we need to. Straight after my seminar I went on a run, and I stopped to stand and look at this sheep because I just thought it was so cute. So once I was back and showered, I then started doing some more of the online lectures. So I'm just writing up the lectures, adding to the notes that I already have. And then of course I always have a big to-do list written out, so I was just ticking off the things that I'd managed to get done that morning. We had a nice brunch in the garden, and now I'm going to have a deep chat with you about the moon. Hi everyone, so I thought I would sit down now and have a bit of a deep chat with you. So just bear with me as I kind of explain this, and I explain the sort of significance of this particular day that I'm vlogging. So for the last couple of nights I've had a really restless night's sleep, and I've woken up at like 6:30, which, you know, I am kind of a morning person, so that's not surprising, but I've been wide awake. Like, I've opened my eyes and been like, right, like I want to start the day, like I'm full of energy. And part of me just thought, I feel like it's like a full moon, like I just have a feeling. And lo and behold, I checked my little moon app and it is a full moon, guys. 100% full moon. So it is a full moon day today, and more than that, it's actually a super moon day. I think it's called the flower moon, so it's a particularly kind of like impressive moon, full of energy, and that also makes it Buddha Day. So, you know, what a day to celebrate being alive. And I feel like my morning of sort of like meditation and yoga and like productivity has kind of reflected like the fact that this is like a special like supermoon day. So anyway, I wanted to just talk a bit about the moon. So before I go any further, let me just say that I'm a really skeptical person. I basically don't believe in anything. I'm very scientific, I'm very factual. I like to see the evidence behind things. I'm not one for kind of like believing in spirituality in a way, but in a way I kind of am. So I never knew anything about like the moon cycles and like the different, I knew that obviously it like gets bigger and bigger until it becomes a full moon, and then it like becomes small to a crescent again. I knew that, but yeah, I never really knew like the significance of it. And then last summer I went to a festival, Lost Village Festival, and I did actually vlog this festival, so if you want to watch that vlog, go and watch it, because at one point I do actually say that I've just been to this meditation with my friend. So it was like a really hot summer's day. I was really like tired obviously from like being at a festival, and me and my friend just went to this meditation session. So we went into this like tent, and it was like really kind of like indie and really cool in there, and we each like sat down. I think we had like a little pillow to sit on, and this lady talked to us about the moon, and we did a moon meditation. Now I just kind of was like very open-minded about this, and she basically said that at different phases of the moon is kind of letting off different energy. And so obviously at a full moon, when the moon is at its fullest in the sky, that is when it's sort of emitting the most energy. And if you think about it, the energy of the moon does kind of make sense, and I haven't done loads and loads of research into this, but obviously like the moon affects like the tide and waves, and obviously there are things in the world that kind of occur with a kind of lunar cycle. So like the menstrual cycle is a really good example. It occurs in this kind of 28-ish day cycle, a bit like the moon. So I feel like there is a significance of this cycle, and I think the fact that it can control things like the waves means that it must have some pretty strong energy. And this lunar energy has kind of been responsible for kind of some of our catchphrases. So obviously I'm sure you've heard of the word lunatic to mean kind of like a crazy person, and I think this actually stems from the fact that at a full moon, when the lunar energy is at its highest, people can get a bit irrational. And think really carefully about this. Like, I know this could be placebo effect because I'm kind of like urging you to do so, and I'm open to admit that it might be placebo effect on my behalf as well. But if you just think back to days when there's been a full moon, like today, do you ever think that actually you've been a bit irrational? Like, you've made rash decisions, you've been really emotional, you've just like broken down into tears, or you've had like a really raging argument with someone which like really kind of was out of your character. And if you have, like, just think how weird that is, that could be the moon influencing you. Might not be. I'm not saying like this is scientifically proven. I haven't done like an astronomical literature review on this, but I'm just kind of like thinking about it deeply. And back last summer I did a little bit of research into this, just a little bit, and I wrote it in this book, and I wrote down just like for each phase of the moon cycle what it kind of like means, and like what you should do to utilise that phase of the cycle. So for example, the new moon is kind of seen as being a fresh start. It's your time to kind of retreat a little bit and regain strength, throw away any unwanted thoughts, spend some time by yourself and like recharge so that you can prepare for the new cycle. And then the waxing crescent, which is when the moon is getting bigger, is when you sort of set your intentions. What do you want to achieve in this particular lunar cycle? And then the first quarter moon is where you take some action. The waxing gibbous, this is when it's nearly as big as it can get. This is when you sort of like refine your plans, you reevaluate, you don't resist change, you kind of like allow yourself to prepare for the full moon. And then your full moon is when you're meant to like harvest everything that you've done to prepare for this day. It's when you kind of take it all in. So you accept any intense emotions because that's normal for a full moon. You expect yourself to be overly emotional, but you just kind of reap the benefits. So this might be like achieving something, or having this new opportunity spring to you, or like finally having some kind of epiphany or anything. And then obviously the moon starts to wane, so the waning gibbous is when you're sort of grateful and you're enthusiastic, you're full of love. And then the last quarter, you're releasing, you're letting go, you're forgiving, you're cleansing yourself, you're getting rid of anything you don't need, any clutter, emotional baggage. And then finally the waning crescent is when you completely just surrender and you rest and recuperate and you just relax, because things might be out of your control, but you're just going to prepare for the next lunar cycle. Now that all sounds a bit wishy-washy, and I'm very aware of that, and I'm not one to believe in stuff like this really, but today I do just feel very energetic. And I mean, I woke up at 6:30, I was so full of energy. I ran like the fastest pace I've run for a while because I just felt so full of energy, and like I felt like I needed to just let off loads of steam, and I'm still kind of riding the high of the full moon. Who knows if this is just placebo effect or whether it's actually happening to me, but it's just cool to talk about. I also looked up some things that you should do when there's a full moon. It's a time when you're meant to be like reflective, so doing something like a meditation is really helpful in this time to reflect on what you've achieved. This isn't about suddenly doing some big action and making decisions, because remember, you might be quite rash and you might be quite emotional. This is about just like taking a step back and just feeling accomplished and being reflective, letting go of things and just having some stillness, just sort of cleansing the space around you and just allowing those opportunities that you've been like waiting for to just come to you. Just allow this time to just reap the benefits of any hard work that you've been doing. So yeah, you might not be a fan of stuff like this and you might just think I'm talking absolute rubbish, but if you're kind of thinking like, yeah, maybe there's something true about this, because obviously it is true that the moon is like giving off energy, like surely Is that true? I think it is. So yeah, just have a think, like, when the next full moon comes around, what do you want to achieve? Like, maybe sort of think about where you're at, look back at what you've done, what you've achieved, and think, what's the next step? What opportunities do I want to open up to? Because that's what it's all about. It's not about forcing things into your life, forcing things to happen. Like, obviously you need to work hard, but I just believe in this feeling of like being open to new opportunities and to allowing abundance to just come to you. And if you can kind of get in touch with the moon cycle in any way, I feel like it kind of gives you that sense of like structure, that kind of, I don't know, that feeling that there's something bigger going on. But yes, for any of you who have noticed, I am wearing this top because it's kind of like space related and the moon is in space, and so I was like, oh, you know, gonna like wear my special space top. So yeah, just something to ponder on this, you know, super moon day. I'm just gonna leave you with that thought and then get back to studying. So before I got back to studying, I was just feeling really reflective, and so I took the time to just do a bit of journaling about anything that I'd achieved leading up to this full moon, or anything that I wanted to achieve by the next full moon, and just kind of anything exciting that had happened or any opportunities that had come my way recently. One of the things I was writing about was the growth of my YouTube channel recently. I've had a lot more subscribers, a lot more views, and a lot more lovely comments, and so I just wanted to say thank you to anyone who started watching my videos or has subscribed to me. I really do appreciate it a lot. And then I got back to work doing some more online lectures. So I'm filming this on my phone because my camera is currently charging because the battery is about to run out. But I have a urology sort of workshop, teaching, seminar kind of thing on Teams in like 10 minutes. I don't really know what it's going to be, whether it's going to be like teaching or if it's going to be like very interactive, like answering questions, things like that. But yeah, we'll see. Just happy to have some like external teaching, because obviously we do have our lecturers and the teaching fellows like record what they would have said if they had have like given the teaching, but it would be nice to actually have like someone sat in front of us talking to us. So I was right, it was really nice to discuss urology with a urology consultant, and because there were only like 9 of us on this call, it meant that we could ask lots of questions and we could have a go at answering questions when we were asked them. And yeah, I just really enjoyed going through and discussing some case histories. Afterwards I went to sit in the garden and read my book. So I then got back to working again, and as you might have seen from my last day in the life vlog, as well as doing the online course, I'm also writing up by hand all the notes that I've sort of previously made from the online course. So here I'm writing up respiratory notes, and this is just because I learn a lot better from handwritten notes, and obviously writing them up again will sort of consolidate my learning and act as sort of a revision method. And then, as it was a Thursday, we obviously went to our doorstep to clap for the NHS. So I'm going to end the vlog now because I'm just going to be watching TV, winding down for the last sort of hour of the day. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you very soon for my next video. I hope you had a happy full moon day, and think about what you're going to do for the next full moon. What you're going to work towards, how you're going to spend the full moon day. Just have a think about it. Bye!